Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, I'm getting blown away on a pheasant day in Northern Ireland. We've got our regulars hunting YouTube and news stump. First up, Dom Holtam is getting colder and wetter than he's ever been before, driven boar shooting in Germany. It's the hunting trip of a lifetime. Driven game in a German forest stuffed full of it. You've got the rifle, the scope and the bullets. For the first hour, the adrenaline keeps you warm and focused. Then it starts raining, even snowing, and you soon start feeling cold, wet and miserable. You lose focus, start moving, opportunities are lost, and it's game over. That is, unless of course you choose your hunting wardrobe wisely. So before we hit the high seat, we're going behind the scenes of technical clothing guru Gore-Tex. Their world famous brand is used by athletes, climbers, bikers and of course shooters. The Danish brand Harkila is leading the charge in technical hunting gear, and its Pro Hunter X collection is lined with the Gore-Tex membrane. Harkila has agreed to lend Dom a suit to abuse in the laboratory, rain tower, storm cube and of course the field. We know the kit is good quality, but exactly why is it so expensive? Feet first, and we start with the Gore-Tex lined Harkila boots. They need to pass some pretty grueling tests before they hit the market.
This is our equipment for testing the shoes. This is our artificial foot, which are flexible and have many water sensors on it. Okay. With help of them we can see if the shoe is leaking and in which directions and in which area. With help of the screen,
so each one of the green dots represents a different sensor.
Right.
This particular pair of boots, how long are they in for and how many repetitions do they have to go through to pass this test?
Our Gore standard for this test is 200,000 of these movements for each shoe. Okay. So that always the pair. And then when you have a distance, it's about more than 350 kilometers in the water. Depends on the size of the person.
Those are some toe-curling statistics, but hunters need to look after the extremities. Although we're not stalking through the German forests this week, a soggy sock in freezing temperatures is no laughing matter when you're stuck in a high seat. To make doubly sure that the boot is watertight, they fill them with 1.5 litres of water and stick them in a centrifuge to try and squeeze it from the inside out.
Okay, so Stefan, we've got the boots, they're now spinning at 250 revolutions per minute. Yeah. How long do you leave them for this particular test?
The test needs half an hour because here with this you can really see if the shoe is really waterproof. Because especially if you have a stiff hunting boot, then it can be happen that it takes a little bit more time that water comes out and the shoe is leaking.
This allows it to soak through the leather, through the thing, so if there is any leakage you'll be able to see it.
Right, correct.
The loo roll test has been passed with flying colours.
The boots are watertight, but what about the clothing? It's time for the rain tower. Dom has come up with a comparison test. His hunting outfit from 2008, when David first filmed him boar shooting in the UK, compared to the Pro Hunter X outfit.
So here we are in the Gore-Tex rain tower, and this is basically a torture chamber for Gore-Tex fabrics. It's designed to see just how waterproof stuff is. We get an awful lot of garments in for test on the magazine, and a lot of people say to us it's too expensive, you know, it can't possibly be worth the money. I can go and buy some army surplus stuff for a few quid from the market, it's good enough for the job. Well, we thought we'd test that while we were here. This outfit, modelled by our friend, who's looking a lot trimmer than me these days, this was probably the first outfit I wore when I filmed with David on the Fieldsports Channel. It's my old boar hunting coat, some camouflage trousers. It cost, I think, 20 or 30 quid, and I used to think it was more than good enough for the job. After all, you don't want to get your best clothes covered in mud and blood. So we've rigged it up in here, and what we're going to do is we're going to see just how waterproof it is and how long it lasts. And to do that, we need our tame executioner, so we're going to introduce you to Stefan. Stefan, you are driving the rain tower for us today. Can you just explain to us in simple terms what it does?
The rain tower is a tool to test the performance of new prototypes before the styles go into production. We test them for construction and for manufacturing problems, probably.
So it's designed to simulate all types of bad weather. That's the basis of it.
It is a lab tool, so we have certain kinds of rain. We cannot do everything, but we can do things that are quite close to reality.
Soon the jacket looks heavy and sodden. To give it the full Monty, Stefan gives it the motorbike nozzle.
So this is after 5 minutes.
You can say 5 minutes of different kinds of rain. So it's, imagine you're walking and you're sometimes behind a bush, it's less. Then you're coming out, it's more, it's wind driven. So kind of this situation. And you see here,
it's come right through, hasn't it?
Yeah, you see that is coming through the surface, of course, because there's no membrane. Yeah.
You're going to have a fairly miserable day if you have a wet day hunting in this, aren't you?
Yeah.
Next, we need to turn the hose on the Harkeeler.
So they said they wanted to test out the new Harkeeler Pro Hunter X clothing on a new dummy. I didn't realise they meant me. It's safe to say that if the conditions were like this, you'd probably be thinking about going home. But the truth is, if you're out on the hill and you're a 3-hour hike from home or from your vehicle, you've just got to put up with it. And that means that your gear's got to put up with it. And that means that your gear's got to be good. Because at the end of the day, if you're soaking wet and you're freezing cold, you're miserable. You're not going to be enjoying your hunting. But it's even more serious than that, because it's fine in the laboratory, but if you're freezing cold and soaking wet and you're a long way from home, it can be the difference between getting home and not getting home. Maybe not in our clement conditions in England, but if you're hunting abroad where the weather gets really cold and it comes in really hard, having the kind of gear that keeps you warm and keeps you dry might just save your life.
Dom does about 10 minutes in the chamber and is as dry as a crisp.
So the microphone's still working, which I think is probably
It's positive.
pretty good. I think the most important test, Stefan, if you can just reach into my inside pocket and can you check if my fags are dry? Perfect.
To assist the drying process, we also stick Dom in the storm cube to see the benefits of wind stopper.
So we're being subjected to up to 80 km/h winds, really cold winds. I can feel the chill on the back of my neck. And anybody who's ever been out in a strong cold wind, when you get wet, it can be absolutely debilitating. The wind stopper fabric is not waterproof, but it instantly cuts that wind chill. So whether I'm facing it, as soon as I take my hands out, I can feel the chill, I feel it on the back of my neck, but none of it is getting through and robbing that temperature from my body core.
The last part of the tour is the torture chamber, where garments get chewed, twisted, stretched, pricked and rubbed raw. Michael Canderhead is the marketing manager for Gore-Tex. He's also a hunter and appreciates the importance of good quality hit when stalking moose in Sweden.
Hunting needs special performance in terms of quietness and ruggedness and durability. So it's a lot of things which is special for hunting.
Yeah.
And you know, you're walking, sitting, and during a different environment. It could be cold, rainy. So it's a tough, very tough conditions for hunting.
And the breathability aspect is very important, isn't it? Because it's all very well and good keeping the rain out, but if you're active and you're sweating, you can't afford to be uncomfortable.
I think one of the most important things for hunting is stay dry and warm, because if you get wet, you will get cold, and then you will lose focus on the hunting and it will not be as funny as it can be.
Yeah.
So I think it's also because hunters spend a lot of time and money investing to pursue their passion, and they invest in rifles and ammunition and scopes, etc. But I think sometimes that investment is worthless if you're getting cold.
How do you develop your working relationship with a brand such as Harkila?
We are mostly working together because they do the final garments and we are part of that, but we also have some experience how to make those garments waterproof. They bring in the knowledge about hunting. So it's a combination between how we can make the best hunting garments out there.
Not all products described as waterproof are made equal. There's a massive difference between them.
For someone to be able to claim that their product is waterproof, what kind of water column pressure does it need to be?
To claim to be waterproof is 1.3 meters.
1.3 metres. And what specification is your material?
Our specification is 28 meters of water.
28 metres.
Yeah.
But people might not be able to grasp the concept of water column pressure. I don't. So if I'm sitting down, how much pressure am I exerting?
If you're sitting down, the pressure would be around 2 meters of water column.
2 metres of water column.
Yeah.
So, and if I was kneeling, it would be more because I've got more body weight on.
More body weight on a smaller surface.
Okay.
Secure in the knowledge he's going to be dry and warm, Dom arrives bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at the driven hunt. The rules of engagement are explained, as is the importance of not shooting one of the working dogs. There will be about 50 of them pushing through the forest with 25 beaters and 50 guns. Safety is paramount, and the lurid orange colours are even more important in what will be poor visibility today. It's not freezing, but the wind chill is a couple below.
In the UK, we don't have any obligation to wear blaze orange for safety reasons, but obviously, driven hunt, there's over 50 rifles on the ground today. It is imperative that you wear safety colours. You have to wear at least 2 pieces of blaze orange. And what I like about this is the Pro Hunter cap. Nice forest green. Flip it round, you've still got all your waterproofing, all your insulation, but now you've got a blaze orange hat. And on the sleeves, you've got little pockets. And when you open them up, there is a reflective blaze orange high-vis band that you simply loop round, Velcro on, and you're ready for a driven hunt. So you don't have to pack an orange hat, you don't have to pack a tabard or armbands or anything like that. Your day-to-day hunting stuff has already got the functionality built in, which I think is a great idea.
The fog is proving problematic. When we do see movement, Dom judges this row to be a buck, which is not allowed. Erring on the side of caution is probably best to avoid upsetting both the host and the bank manager. The beaters come and go, the dogs suddenly firing up when they pick up a scent. This time they're on the tail of Red Hind. Dom gets set for a shot, but she's back end on, which is a good job, as moments later, appearing out of the fog, is the dog handler, right in the line of fire.
It was just a very, very good reminder that when you've got game everywhere, and when you've got dogs everywhere, and when you've got beaters everywhere, you cannot be too careful, because when she'd stopped, if she hadn't been backside onto us, and she'd been side on, I probably would have taken a shot, and I would have been pretty much shooting straight towards a beater. So yeah, better to be safe than sorry, but it's action. Hopefully we'll see something else before the end of the drive. We've got about half an hour left.
We haven't scored today, but others have been more successful. Reds, boar and a trophy mouflon shot by Sporting Rifles' Peter Carr. Day 2 presents a different field of view and a stumpy high seat. As we're getting comfortable, this roe doe has a quick look. This is more like it. Next is a boar. We get a glimpse of him on the ridge, then he's charging past behind us. Dom lets off a shot, but has to hold fire until it passes over the ridge to give it a second, as a fellow hunter is just up the hill. In replay, you can see Dom's shot strike the edge of the tree.
I had to take a shot then, because otherwise he was not going to be shootable with the track.
Snow begins to fall, but it doesn't feel as cold as yesterday. Next to appear is a roe doe with youngster in tow. She is fair game, but is skylined. Luck is not with us. We've been in the seat for 4 hours, ears pricked, eyes peeled and concentration levels at the best levels they could be, thanks to clothing built for anything the environment can throw at us.
Always disappointing, especially when we had an opportunity at a boar, but that's hunting, and I'd much rather hunt in an open forest, where the animals are wild and your chances are a bit lower than in a fenced area where you're basically guaranteed to see animals, but it doesn't quite seem the
the same to me. So take it for what it is and hope to have better luck next time.
Hunters invest in the best possible rifle, scope and binos, but clothing seems to be the poor relation, and yet if you're not comfortable, you won't be on top of your game. If you want to find out more about the Harkila range, including the Harkila Pro Hunter X, beautifully modelled by Dom and David, plus their range of boots, go to harkila.com. And if you want to find out more about Gore-Tex, go to gore-tex.com. And if you'd like to see more driven boar shooting films by us, click on the link that's appeared up there in the sky behind me. Next up, it's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. It's been a bad week for British antis trying to advertise their views. The RSPCA had an advertisement banned by the Advertising Standards Association for its inaccurate and alarmist advert asking vaccinate or exterminate. Meanwhile, when comedian Dave Spikey agreed to front the League Against Cruel Sports' Christmas film, they promised it would achieve 5 million views. We reported on the film last month when it was just out and had hit 1,000 views. It's now topped 3,000, so that's still 4,997,000 still to go. 3 wolves that escaped from their enclosure at an Essex zoo have been shot dead. The animals, said to be a danger to the public, were among 5 timber wolves that escaped from Colchester Zoo. Now, following on from the Eagle Takes Baby from Playground YouTube film, here's a picture that's been sent to us by Ian Larner from Australia. It shows a wedge-tailed eagle apparently taking a fox in the Wimmera district in Victoria State. Some support the authenticity of the shot, but most shout fake, which makes a change from shouting in your face to the English cricket team. A US Marine who was fishing on a beach has caught a great white shark. It's a tiddler by great white standards, but it's still the same species as Jaws. Jeff Fangman released it as these sharks are protected in the States. Anglers down under did the same with a tiger shark in Western Australia. Sticking with the States, and former US vice presidential candidate, governor and original Mama Grizzly, Sarah Palin, has a new show. She's on American hunting TV station Sportsman's Channel. It's as part of the network's Red, Wild and Blue America programming plan. She's hosting Amazing America with Sarah Palin. And finally, a new sport is sweeping America: sewer fishing. According to 15-year-old Kevin Negurley from Texas, all you need is some line, some bait and some patience. He demonstrates his technique catching a surprisingly large fish in the sewer in this YouTube video. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Now, for any of you who don't believe that pheasant shooting is theatre, here's me making a Broadway entrance. I'm at Ballywalter Park on the Ards Peninsula in Northern Ireland, a lovely small estate with a big house and a shoot that's within walking distance of this magnificent staircase. William Mulholland's family have lived here for more than 150 years, but Will is no fuddy-duddy. He set up and runs one of the top shooting forums on the internet, Pigeonwatch. His office is in St James's in West London, just around the corner from the grand old gunmaker, William Evans. They have lent him one of their best guns, a £15,000 Pall Mall side-by-side 12-bore, to take home and try out on a family shoot day. Well, Will is going to need all the help he can get today. A strong southerly is lifting the pheasants and sending them hurtling over the guns. Even the trees are looking wobbly. I catch up with Will after one of the drives, looking for a pheasant that drops in the walled garden.
The conditions have been testing, and I think Trolls has adjusted the beating line quite a bit, just to keep the birds coming over the guns, because they curl on this wind and they really motor.
Now January is City Bonus Month, and even with the crackdown on city excesses by Chancellor of the Exchequer George Osborne, surely a new shotgun is a reasonable reward. Will already owns a William Evans, and earlier in the week he took it to the London shop to find out its history.
So this is my grandfather's William Evans. I don't know how long he's had it for, but I just wondered if you could tell me a bit more about the gun. Is it one of a pair? Anything you can tell me about it would be great. I don't know a great deal about it.
Okay, great. Well, first things first, obviously I can see that it's quite an early one. the engraving is an early style that we used to use, not that dissimilar from the Purdy style of engraving, which is no surprise considering that William Evans got quite a lot of his training at Purdy's before he set up his own company. Really, the model is a number 2 side lock.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of metal there which indicates that it was a 2nd grade side lock. There's another indicator that you've got that you're lacking a pin here, which would be the V-spring, that would be a bar lock. So that would be referred to as a best side lock.
Okay.
So this is considered as a number 2. We used to get in barreled actions from a company called Webley and Scott. In these days it was just Webley. And this is the classic Webley screw grip action. You've got the horseshoe here around the top lever. The doll's head extension where the barrels would lock in, it would act as the 3rd bite to make it that little bit more strong.
Yes.
And also you've got a through lump, and that through lump again is classic of this style of action.
So it's 110 years old.
Yep.
Fantastic.
It's an old girl. There we go. That's the actual entry that Mr. Long would have seen. So he's HD Long, and it looks like it's either Hernfield or Hornfield of Saxmundham in Suffolk. The entry goes Evans 12 bore CF for centrefire, top snap, side bar, hammerless, it's abbreviated, ejector, to go in his own leather case, and it cost him £27 and 10 shillings.
It's not a bad price.
No, well, it sounds very cheap today, doesn't it? The next record that we have of it is in 97, the 10th of February 97, where it was brought in for repair work.
That's my father.
There we go.
But it's interesting, I thought that it had maybe been made for a relative, but those names at the start, they're not familiar to me. So,
Okay.
so my grandfather must have picked it up at a later stage, I think.
The smart new gun that Alistair lends Will looks gorgeous in St James's. Alistair even lends him a William Evans shooting coat and cap to try and make him look as good as the gun. Designed to William Evans's blueprint model on the traditional H&H 7-pin sidelock pattern, the Pall Mall is manufactured in consultation with the Spanish firm Gruller Armas. Guns are fitted in the UK, hand-finished, blacked, checkered and hand-engraved by William Evans' own British gunsmiths. The gun features selective self-ejectors, intercepting safety sears and gold line cocking indicators. That's all perfectly pretty, but what's it like in the field in Northern Ireland?
Been pretty accurate, I think. Yeah, I think there's a few birds down. It's pretty nice to have a gun. You can show to people with who really appreciate it.
The first drives are out in the open and Will shoots well, but it is when he takes to the woods that he really gets going. Surrounded by trees, hunting for birds, he is in every way a natural pigeon shooter.
Oh, you need eyes on the back of your head with these pigeons. They're appearing from everywhere. And the wind is just meaning that they're just curling round. So they usually predominantly fly straight over, but they're just being pushed to the right a bit today, I think.
So what's the story behind Pigeonwatch?
So it was 12, 13 years ago, so I was 14, 15. And really, initially what it was a place that everyone shooting pigeons could report how they'd gone on around the UK and we could find where the birds were, whether there was any migratory patterns, what they were feeding on, and it just was a useful resource with tips and tricks and other bits and pieces.
So as an internet entrepreneur, obviously you've made millions from it.
Well, not yet, Charlie, not yet. With the site, we've got some advertisers on it, and we do other bits and pieces. We sell some products. We've got a very smart enamel badge that I'm of course sporting. But yeah, it's really primarily advertisers on the site how the revenue comes. Got into the swing of things a bit.
Yeah. Who's all your kilts here?
But there's some of them. There's quite a few in the wall garden, I think. That wind's just pushed them all the way,
Very good.
way back.
Very good. Well done. So presumably you pay the Pigeonwatch moderators millions of pounds. No.
Awkward question. On Pigeonwatch, yeah, we've got a great team of moderators, and they're from all over the UK, and one from Canada actually, which helps with the sort of time difference. Posts late at night and early in the morning on the site, and they can help out with that. We have an annual, usually a couple of annual sort of meetups, and we go for a nice meal and catch up and and see how things go. And you know, we obviously at the charity shoot, and from time to time, along with other members, you know, we'll go to a playground and fire a few clays.
Will can hit birds, and in his excitement he can even enjoy a little tree pruning. The next drive is in trees again. There is some hope of a woodcock or two on this one, and of course there will be fast flying pheasants.
They should come pretty much from the wood in front of us. Any that commit over the field will probably swing. So yeah, another again, you know, quite a wide arc that we're looking for birds from. Bit more visibility than in the last drive, but yeah, you've got to be ready. So when the drive starts, I'll have the gun up. Oh, look at that woodcock! Do you see it? Yeah, second barrel, got him.
So that's 3 woodcock off that drive already, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 woodcock come out.
Fast modern cartridges and fast birds benefit from a greater weight in a gun than Will's grandfather would have liked.
Functionally, it's very similar. You know, it feels similar. I think the stock is slightly shorter, but yeah, I like it. You know, it swings very well, seems very well balanced. You know, it's got to open the gun, you know, self-opening mechanism, which can make for quicker reloading. I've been fumbling my cartridges a bit today, so I haven't quite, you know, maximised the potential, but yeah, it's a really nice gun.
For the last drive, I joined Will's father on his stand to talk about the shoot itself.
We shoot over about 300 acres in the park. We shoot probably 12 big driven days a year and maybe another 6 or 8 smaller. We call them walked up days, but they're semi-driven days, mini-driven days, when we shoot about 100 birds on those days. And out of those, I take 2 days for myself and for my sons, Andrew and William. We let probably 8 or 9 days a year. This year we've been quite international. We've had shooting parties from the United States, from Scotland, and we've got an English shooting party who were here actually this day last year, coming back in January.
For more about shooting at Ballywalter, go to ballywalterpark.com. Will's forum is the much-loved Pigeonwatch, which can be found at pigeonwatch.co.uk. For more about a new Pall Mall gun by William Evans, visit williamevans.com. Prices start from £15,000, including VAT. From Northern Ireland to the wider world of hunting, shooting and fishing on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting, shooting and fishing videos that YouTube has to offer. Joseph Carter sends in his film of his new sport of minkenry. He has trained his pet mink to hunt muskrats and dive underwater to catch fish. It shows an endearing side to mink, which are not loved in the UK, and it's certainly a good way to keep your fish fit and the local muskrat population on its toes. All the world is thrilled by a rogue animal, unless in this case you're one of the Mozambican children mauled by the baboons that are the subject of this film. Tracked, killed, cooked and eaten by American bow hunter Tim Wells. Richard Millerin shows me his film of clay shooting in Staffordshire to groovy music. He is experimenting with camera mounts. This one is duct tape. Looks good to me. Moving to the world of angling, here's a jolly compilation of fun fishing ideas from the iFish TV crew in Australia. Crazy Fishing Stunts is a trailer for a $20 Australian DVD, but it's still better than the average taster. This fishing film is nearly completely quite not very funny, but Pisher Info gets points for trying. The Italian in question is calling "Here kitty kitty kitty" when this happens. It's the next bit he needs to work on. Wild boar hunting with approach is interesting because you get a strong feeling that the guide does not want the cameraman anywhere near the action. The guide is also a keen smoker, so probably needs all the help he can get. However, despite that, the cameraman does his or her best and the editor even better, telling a story about one Russian's desperate attempt to shoot big game. And here is a Frenchman setting out to go shooting in partial darkness. What is it with these guys? Cameras, mes braves. Cameras need light. Chasse aux chamois on Isère 2013 starts in the small hours but happily benefits from dawn, and by the time they find the chamois, the mountains are beautifully lit. Finally, Squirrel Kill with a Slingshot has one of my YouTube favourites, Gamekeeper John, doing exactly that. It is a kind of magic. You can click on any of these films to watch them. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. If you like that lot, we hope you will like these, all on Fieldsports Channel. Jason Bruce of Headhunter Chronicles is hunting in Mexico. Jason heads to Mexico to hunt mule deer and Coues white-tailed deer. Click on the link on the screen to watch it. And do the same for the African barbecue hunter who is hunting oryx or gemsbok with Ojuritsi Safaris, Namibia's oldest safari operation. Well, we are back next week at 7 PM UK time on Christmas Day. And if you're enjoying this programme, please don't hesitate to subscribe around the outside of the screen, or go to our website fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. This has been Fieldsports Britain. Goodbye, good hunting, good shooting and good fishing.